NBA opening day, small slate, but I still have picks for you. Let's go. All right, first pick, James Harden, over 8 assists. Now, I love this spot for James Harden against Boston. Boston lost Robert Williams, so their defense potentially not as good for a guy receiving all defensive player votes last season. I think the defense of Boston will still be fine. But let's be honest. They're a very good team. They're very deep. Their bench has always been strong over the last few years with their core still remaining. But Robert Williams down low is going to be tough for this team. And I think James Harden potentially pick and roll style today, get some extra assists. And then the 8 just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, right now in sportsbooks, he's over 8.5, minus 120 on DraftKings Sportsbook, and that's just the first book I had open. So you're getting the push factor as a value. This is a crazy weird line for opening night. It's one of the gifts on this slate. I'm going to go ahead and slam this in there as one of my favorite picks on opening day. Real quick, let me just highlight the MySparry.com stuffs. All right, so we got the Edge report on the website. This is all the betting model. This will be updated here as soon as the stream is over. Projections model already has all the projections for every player uploaded to the website as well. The data sheet is uploaded. Now, this is going to be a whole lot of data here, but it's not entirely useful right now as we are accumulating things for the season. This is for members. And then, of course, it will ultimately end up looking like this. After we accumulate data throughout the year, you'll be able to see what the prop projection is, what the prop line is, their last 5 games, the odds, some metrics here we have, what the prop type is, their last 5, how many times they've been over and under. And then, of course, you can click through all the different tabs to do whatever types of research for positions you want. And that will be for NBA. Again, plus 331 units going into October, even more since October. And then you can grab all of this down below in the description section, less than $1 freaking a day. And the beauty of Patreon now is you can do 30-day monthly cycles. No more of this first of the month nonsense, meaning you can sign up today on the 18th. Your next cycle would be November 18th is the next payment. Glorious. Grab that link down below. Let's keep going. All right, this next play is an interesting one. So I was initially looking at Anthony Davis, some of his props, almost took his blocks prop at 1.5, but I think the fantasy score might be the way to go tonight, especially with the news that came out that, the Warriors maybe not running their starters over 30 minutes. And I think they weren't going to have, a 36-minute possible rotation for some of these studs in the first place. So I don't think it's the greatest deal, but Anthony Davis should be able to feast tonight. He has looked very healthy this preseason, played, I think, 26 minutes in the last preseason game. And, he popped off. I mean, he had like 48 points or something. If he had 49.1 fantasy points, he's looked very good. Anthony Davis, my favorite part is his PRA on DK Sportsbook right now is 34.5 for minus 130. That will put him right around the fantasy score without even taking into consideration his potential for blocks and steals, which are 3 points each. I think this should probably be up around 44.5. And I think it's going to move today. I do. I don't understand why his PRA is at 34.5, but when you do the math for what each of Anthony Davis's props are, it just doesn't match up with 42.5 here. So 23.5 points, 9.5 boards, and then, the assist factor in here, block shots. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I think the 42.5 just seems kind of low by about 2 or 3 points. So I'm taking the over here on a guy who I think probably plays, 32 minutes tonight. And he's always been a high point per minute player. I think he should be in a prime position to hit the over. So he is my pick number 2. There's a couple other the picks that I had coming into the week here. Earlier this week, I posted Jaylen Brown over 21.5, Klay Thompson under 19.5. These have since moved, unfortunately. And let me show you where they're at right now. So Jaylen Brown is up to 22.5 points. And then we have Klay Thompson dropped all the way down to 15.5 points. So we got extreme value on the under there. Now, there is still one that I think is kind of interesting. That's Draymond Green, just not a guy who's going to score. And this matchup against LA and their size isn't the best for him either. And it's not like he's really going to be someone they lean on for anything other than, rebounds and assists and defense tonight. So I liked his under at 7.5, 6.5. Now it moved again. That's just not a comfortable line for me. So for me, I'm going to get off the rest of the Warriors because of their line movement. And I'm going to slide over to Jayson Tatum. I believe I posted this in Discord at 6.5 earlier this week, but give me 7.5 rebounds. He had tremendous success last season against Philadelphia, rebounding the basketball. And now with no Robert Williams, he had averaged a few more rebounds without Robert Williams in a lamp, and he's not going to be this week. So he's got a matchup against Philly last season where he actually had 16, 9, 11, and 12 rebounds in the 4 matchups against Philly. So even at 7.5, he still absolutely smashed the over against Philly. He hit the over at this line last year in 51 of his 100 total games, playoffs and regular season, averaged 7.7 combined. And then when you remove Robert Williams from the lineup, he averages 8.1 rebounds per game. 8.1 rebounds per game. So go ahead and give me the over at 7.5. These are 3 of probably about 9 or 10 picks I'll have. I think I have 6 already posted. We'll post a few more. I'm already starting to look at Wednesday a little bit. Focusing a little bit on Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and where those assist props are. Focusing more on sports books, but I will circle back and turn around and look at whatever we can grab on prize picks and probably some underdog picks as well. I think it's a great time to be playing on prize picks. NBA season is so much less volatile than NFL, which is inherently, contingent on some of these guys scoring touchdowns for the fantasy points, staying healthy, not getting injured. So just, NFL is more volatile. It's much like baseball. NBA, most consistent, most optimal sport that is out there. Often minutes equals opportunity. Opportunity equals points and stats. And in NBA, you can most often project someone's minutes accurately. You can have a very small range for your projection. It doesn't need to be so wide of a range where you do when you run like a 10,000 Sims model for NFL and MLB. Your range is extremely far, but for NBA, it's a very small range of outcomes. So let's make some money together. You grab that link down below, myspire.com, and it's time, baby. 331 positive, profitable units is about to hopefully increase by a couple hundred by an NBA finish. I will see you on the inside, my friends. Let's go.